Good weekend on the Mesa, obviously a great win. Good program-defining win for us, good cultural win, the way that we went about it. This team continues to find ways to win in different ways, which is a great skill to have. Really impressed with that. Really pleased with the physical effort along both, the O-line, the D-line, but more so too with our skill and the way that our secondary supported the run and got the ball to the ground with some really violent tackles. Really, really pleased with the effort of our wide receivers and them embracing the role that it was and the way that game was playing out. There were some great blocks that we highlighted this morning for the boys, that they really resonated with them. So to go find that, a tremendous evening and tremendous accomplishment for Lucky to get over 1,000 yards rushing at this point in the season, and as a culmination of work of not only by him carrying the load, but by the O-line, the tight ends, all involved to make that happen. That's a great milestone for him to reach. Really pleased with the start of our Finish the Climb campaign that was launched as well on Thursday. A very, very generous gift by an anonymous donor to, put up $1 million that the community can then go match so that we can continue to build upon the success of this season as we go into the Pac-12 and into the future. So tremendous response from that over the weekend as well. That was sparked by the win. And, again, very, very thankful for the fans that braved the elements, came out, supported, and excited to see our fans come out and the community come out to support our seniors and to send them out the right way with this last regular season game to honor those seniors on senior night against a really, really good opponent in San Jose. So, throw the record out. Don't get caught in the trap of that. They're a really dangerous team, really dynamic offense, really potent passing attack. They have a really solid front, dynamic kick returner, punt returner that has done some dangerous things. They've found a way to score in a lot of different ways, and we need to have a great week of preparation as we go forward for another great opportunity here on the Mesa.
Back to your playbook. Did you have the page for single win run football?
We've like I mentioned after the game, it's something that we kind of implemented the talent of last season and wanted to have a package for the short yardage and goal line that we could hang our hat on, that we went back and Coach Schmidt did some research on and that we implemented together this spring, and the boys have done a great job of owning it. That package we've used throughout the year: goal line, short yardage, fourth downs, and again, that was one of those culturally defining plays, one of those cultural plays in the game where, we're going to go out and be who we are and lean on the big boys up front, and, had the look that we wanted and was able to execute. And that was a critical moment in the game right there before halftime to have that drive, to go finish with a touchdown. And that's something that we haven't done the past 3 weeks, right? We've sat here on a Monday and kind of talked about how we've come up short in the middle eight. I was really, really pleased with the way that the boys responded there and how they took ownership of that fourth down and that package. And again, there's a lot of unsung heroes in that. You go back and you look at DJ Herman's block, like he's one of these glue guys, man, that is doing so much for the team in a lot of different ways that often goes unrecognized with his contributions on special teams and within that package that, make those moments possible. Big execution, big moment in the game that led to points. So really pleased by the way that the guys handled that.
I know Mountain West Weekly Awards aren't the biggest deal, but to not see Lucky Sutton there, what do you make of that?
That's fine. Doesn't matter. We'll continue to get better.
San Jose State, they beat Hawaii, then lose to Nevada, who snaps a 16-game losing streak in conference. How dangerous are they, and how do you gauge something like that?
Super dangerous, right? We've seen them a bunch in crossover tape at this point in time through conference play. As you're prepping for opponents, you're seeing either side of it, and what's coming. The passing attack is very real. They spread you out. Their front is dynamic. They got some players that can play on edges and play with twitch, and then again, right, the results, guys, you can look all around college football, right? We've been talking about this all year, and we'll continue to talk about it. Throw the records out, throw your predictions out, especially when you have a game, where Nevada did, where they get non-offensive touchdowns, right? They get a pick six, they get a kickoff return for a touchdown. That changes the scope of the game. It's why those phases of the game, particularly special teams, are so important. If Hunter doesn't jump and secure that snap the other night, right? How does our game look different, right? But again, that just – he's supposed to do that. That's his job. And to his credit, that's what his response. Coach, I'm just doing my job. Well, that's a heck of a play, because if we don't get on that snap and we don't secure that snap, it's a completely different deal, right? So valuing the football in that way, but again, San Jose is a really, really dangerous team that we got to have a great week of preparation and, own the prep to honor these seniors the right way.
To have a glimmer of hope for the Group of 5 bid in the playoff, just to see San Diego State's name in that spotlight, how big is that for you in recruiting and where you're at in your
I mean, just expectations that we've had since day one. So I'm just going to try and handle today the right way so that, other people can continue to talk about that. You guys can continue to talk about that. And I'm just going to go have a good evening walk through tonight so that, maybe we can stay in that conversation a little bit. But at the end of the day, we just got to handle the next thing the right way.
Coach, when you got here, I think there was maybe a thought from fans, even some media, we're going to see some 52-49 games with the offense that we had seen in the past. Instead, getting these hard-nosed defensive-style wins. Was there a pivot based on personnel, or is that never really what Aztec Fast was all about? How's it kind of evolved since you got here?
We've won a lot of different ways since I've been here, right? We've had some games this year where we've thrown the ball a bunch, where we've had some high scores, and we've had some games and we had some moments where, we've won different ways. But at the end of the day, what Aztec Fast is all about is a team that's focused, that's accountable, that's smart, and that's tough. Right? That's who we are. That's what we're going to be. A team that's going to be loyal to the program, a team that's going to be loyal to winning, and we're going to find ways to win because ultimately that's the end goal, right? So, hey, I know we're not going to win any style points for that one, but it's a win nonetheless, right? And we're still in first place. We control our own destiny, and we'll continue to find ways to win with the personnel that we have, with the way that the availability report looks, and how we're able to do things week in and week out. But it's our job as coaches to put our kids in position to win, and we did that.
What challenges does San Jose State's quarterback present?
Really, really accurate, knows the system really well. A lot of ways offensively, they're going to stress you the way that Hawaii did, right? They're going to spread the field. Kid knows the system intimately. He's got really good touch. He's got really good ball velocity. I mean, you can't relax. He gets outside the pocket. We got to plaster and stay on these dynamic wide receivers, but they do a really good job of spreading you out, getting their speed in space, and he can facilitate the ball in a very accurate manner to turn his receivers into runners really, really quickly.
You guys want to stop the run game first, but is this a team or is it fast first or not?
No, I mean, you still got to have a appreciation for the run game. But again, the space that they create and, the priorities that they put on throwing the football, you got to have a balanced attack. But if you're not sound and your numbers aren't right, then they'll exploit that as well. So we're going to come up with a good plan here. We're still very much early on in that prep with it all. But they change the scoreboard quite frequently through the air in the way that they stress you that way.
What stands out to you about their defense?
Yeah, I mean, their front's really, really dynamic. Their nose is really quick. They play a majority of the time in a zero technique, and he's head up over the center, which creates some isolations. It'll be a great challenge for Ross. They have some edges that are dynamic, that play with good length, and their secondary supports the run really, really well. So they're tied together. They're cohesive. They got multiple fronts, multiple coverages, and blitz package is pretty robust as well. So, again, be a good challenge, be a good test. I mean, that's what it is every single week in this league.
Sean, you mentioned the word unsung hero. Can you talk a little bit about where you crossed paths with Mike Schmidt, your offensive line coach, and the challenges that he has had over 2 years with so many people in and out of that offensive front, transfers, guys who got hurt, guys that came back, guys he had to develop on the fly. Talk about these intangibles.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you go back to his career here, right? He starts as a walk-on, earns a scholarship, becomes a captain, talks about his work ethic and his ability to find solutions, right? So, knew of him from obviously his time with Coach Babers at Syracuse and my time with Coach Babers. We never worked together, right? But obviously, we're, kind of extended family in that regard, and got a chance to meet with him a couple times when we were crossing paths recruiting and through the camp circuit and get a chance to know him a little bit. And obviously when the opportunity came here, made a whole bunch of sense to bring him back home and feel very fortunate, to have him with his knowledge and his expertise to be able to share ideas and to craft a plan each and every single week. We know what it's going to be and the importance of the O-line room. He's done a tremendous job going out and vetting the talent, making sure it's the right character fit, the right physical traits to bring in. And, we had a bunch of injuries last year. We were able to, rebuild the room. Guys in the room got healthy that we had lost last year. And because of the way that we've managed the talent in that room, the way that he's developed the talent in that room, we've been very fortunate to, have all 5 guys play cohesive together in every single one of these opportunities. And I think that's led to the success that we've had because that unit cohesion has been so strong under his leadership.
You guys are undefeated at home. What makes your group so tough to play at Snapdragon?
They got great pride. We talked really early on about good teams defend their home, right? And it's been a point of emphasis for us. And guys have really bought in and believed that that's something that we need to do, something that we're capable of doing. We got some good early wins in the season, which I think has brought belief and confidence into, defending our home turf. And, it's a stadium that we have great pride in, right? It's a great place to call home that more and more fans continue to come out and to be a part of. There's a tremendous opportunity for that to continue to grow this week with throwback pricing and throwback concessions and throwback field design to create a great environment to where, again, the fans can be just as much a part of the competitive advantage that we have, with our kids playing at a really high level. And so, again, it's just something that they've taken to heart to defend our home, and we got another opportunity here to do that this week.
You mentioned all year, you need just 1% of San Diego to show up and you got to sell out. You guys have pulled out tons of opportunities for fans. You guys are playing great. What more can you guys do to get people to show up?
Continue to educate, continue to win, continue to build a great program. Build it, they'll come, right? And so, again, I'll keep saying it. Hey, like I showed up here and everyone told me, hey, Coach, put a winner on the field. It's a football town. It's a sports crazed town, and they'll show up. And so, hey, we got a team that's first place. We got great pricing. There's, been all kinds of obstacles that have been broken down through our leadership, and excited to see the response from our fans to come out and, again, to be a part of a great competitive environment and for them to have a huge impact in the game, this upcoming Saturday.
It's also senior night. What has this class meant to you personally in implementing, your goals long term for this team? Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about where we are without these guys, right? And so they mean everything. I was asked very, very early on when I got here, like, Coach, what type of coach are you? I'm like, well, I'm a player's coach, right? And so you're thankful and grateful for the kids believing in your vision. You're thankful and grateful for them entrusting you with this precious time in their lives. Like, this is, it's such a small window that they have to play this game at this level, and they're entrusting us as a staff to help them grow, to help them mature, to help them develop, so hopefully that they can aspire to and reach their dreams of playing at the next level, and to have a experience here that they'll look back on and say, man, that was one of the best times of my life, right? There's going to be a lot of great things that come for these guys with marriage and fatherhood and all the other things, right? But, right now I hope they reflect back on this time, and while they're in it right now, they take a moment in the present to be present and know how truly special this is, and to soak it up. So they mean everything to me. Without them, like, I'd just be some tall, bald, bearded guy that's obsessed with football, right? With them and with their belief, like, I get to be called coach, and they give me purpose every single day.
Sean, what have you learned about Mountain West Conference in a year and a half that you witnessed in terms of either level of play, caliber play, kids you need to have to play at this level? Is it different than you thought the Mountain West would be?
No, it's not different. I mean, it's a great challenge. It's a great opportunity each and every single week. I mean, the level of coaches you get to compete against, the way that they have their kids prepared, the level of talent and development, how the teams improve throughout the course of the year. It's so fun to see the tape early in the year and how teams are finding their identity, because everyone's going through the same stuff, right? Like, we talked about new pieces in our O-line and the transfers and the high school kids and how a team comes together. And then where they are now and how they're navigating injuries and how all the staffs are doing such a great job solving the problems in the Mountain West. It's a great league, and I'm excited about where we're going in the future as well with the Pac-12, with a lot of these teams coming with us as we go forward. So there's nothing earth-shattering. I don't think there's any sort of revelations. I've got tremendous respect for our kids and the way that they go about it, and our staff, and the culture that we've created to where we're going to be a tough blue-collar crew that goes about it the right way, and you're going to have to get in a fight in the phone booth with us. And hopefully when our tape speaks and the way that it's been put down, people know that they are going to be in for that physical fight, and that's what makes this game beautiful.
Last year, your pitch to the key guys you wanted to return was your vision, that what you've accomplished this year, you'll be able to point to some concrete examples. How much easier will it be to get guys to stay this time around?
Nothing's easy, right? Nothing will be easy, because now there's more eyeballs on us, and there's more, guys who probably have our guys on their boards at other places that got bigger bankroll, right? So it's going to be important for our community to help us with finishing the climb with our campaign. But we all know that there's nothing easy about this, and I wouldn't want it any other way. The hard makes it meaningful, the hard makes it valuable, and the hard makes it fun. And again, maybe that makes me, a little bit crazy, but there's nothing easy about it. But again, that's what makes it so special.
To the guys that are already in the program, they know what you said has kind of come true. Mm-hmm. That must resonate more with them.
Yeah, I would like to think the work that we've done, right, and all the time that we've been here together, the relationships that we formed, that strikes a chord with them, right? Like at this point in time, if you're not about the same things or like-minded, right, not necessarily the same, but if you're not a like-minded individual and you don't value the same things that we value, at this point in the journey, you probably would have, with all the opportunities that you have to leave, you probably would have left, right? And so at this point, it's we're at a good spot, and we'll continue to see what shakes out here as we get closer to that fun time of the year where everyone else is bracing for the holidays and I'm bracing to hang on to my roster, right? So, we'll do that work when we get to it, but that work happens every single day.
What are some of the like-minded values that players
Yeah,
have
good
there?
question. Being competitive, right? Having an intentional purpose. I think it's really important. We talk about having a focused football team. Like, we live in America's finest city, right? There's lots to do here. And if you don't have a intentional purpose and want to grow as a young person and want to get a great degree and want to become the best individual who happens to play football at a high level, you can be really distracted really easily here. Some of the things that are also like being a good teammate, right? Like, we're in such a me-first society that it's really important for us that you embrace we over me, and then know and understand that by us doing it collectively together, right, whatever it is that you want individually is going to be much more achievable because you're doing it with a group of people as opposed to trying to do it all on your own. So those are some of the things that we spend a whole lot of time, as we vet out, the people, whether that's staff members or players or whomever that we're going to bring into our program. You got to have a burning desire to compete, right? And you got to want to do it with a bunch of other people that, you're humble enough to know, like, hey, I don't have all the answers, but we can do this collectively together.
Any particular we over me seniors you'd like to single out?
The vast majority of them, right? Again, we're not in this spot without them. Ross epitomizes it up front. Chris, just literally sacrificed a whole bunch of money to stay with this team, right? But each one of them in their own right, doing their part, doing the things that we asked them to do that make this group truly, truly special.
And you have to hold to those standards. You can't deviate if you say, well, this guy's a special talent. That's kind of...
No, we coach our hardest guys, probably the hardest, right? But everyone in our building knows that we have really high expectations. We have really high standards, but I think that also comes with a really high love as well. I think if you have a culture and environment that, has too high of standards and not enough love, well, that's too hard, and no one wants to show up in that space, right? And if you have an environment that has really low standards or low expectations with a whole bunch of love, well, that's really, really soft, and you're not going to become the best version of yourself, right? So we have high standards, we have high expectations, we have a lot of high love. A mentor of mine taught me that a long time ago, and yeah, if you're one of our best guys, you're going to be held to that, then some.
Coach, you've also, some broadcasters have commented on how you wear your hat. I'm curious if you have any advices on, bending the brim and what gives you that.
Gosh, there's been so much attention made to my tan lines, my lack of fashion sense. I'm just going to be focused on trying to get the next first down and put this team in the best position to win. It works for me. I'm good in that.
No, you took the umbrella?
That was for technology, right? So, we learned from the previous week that some of our tablets were disrupted, the technology, so we were trying to protect the technology. That had nothing to do with me. Guys, you see me every single week. You think I care about what I look like right now?
What's the update on maybe, or how significant is it engagement?
Yeah, we'll find out more today. We got some pictures over the weekend. We're confirming things this morning. I haven't heard anything from our medical team, so we'll know more by the end of today.
Has Denegal hit a wall? Because the last 2 weeks have really been a struggle.
When you only throw the ball 10 times, it's hard to have a whole lot of production, right? But he's done a tremendous job in our run check, our run game, managing the workload as we've gone. So, no, he's doing exactly what we're asking him to do, and the opportunities will come along for him to get production in the most obvious way. But he's doing a great job.
A big part of that's game plan, right? You're not going to throw the ball 30 times if you don't need to.
Well, yeah, there's a whole lot of factors too, right? That, just trying to learn, trying to grow. We were out there, on the islands, and it rained for 4 hours, and, we tried to throw it around. There wasn't a whole lot of production to that. So, I could be hard-headed and, keep doing that, or, you can look at the environment, you can look at the situation, you can look at the strengths of your team, and, again, keep winning top of mind.
What confidence do you have in the rest of the receiver group if Napier's out for some extended time to step up as that?
Yeah, I mean, good. I have great confidence in all of our skill, right? Whether it's the wide receiver group, it's the growth and development of the tight ends, it's the running backs that continue to develop, right? It's maybe throwing an extra offensive lineman in. There's a lot of ways that you can play this game, right? And we'll uncover every single stone that there is, and we'll put the best people out there to stress San Jose's, defense in the best possible way. So, it might not be just receiver for receiver, right? Again, it's going to be a way to manage the game and find a way to win and do that, and we'll be just fine.